Miss Minutes just showed up in Marvel Comics with B-15, the TVA, all that shit. If you guys like the Loki TV show, you guys will love this comic because I was mind blown. Also, Doc Clock, which is like Miss Minutes, but as a doctor, like what? Oh, and this Gambit, I have a feeling this is Channing Tatum's Gambit. Yes, the one from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. I could be wrong, but I have a hunch. This is TVA issue 1. At this point, the MCU is completely connected with the 616 Marvel Comics universe, or in terms of the multiverse, because these characters are straight up from the Loki TV show. This takes place before the Spider-Gwen comic, because this is where we saw Gwen was talking about in her current run about how she was with the TVA for a little bit. I guess Spider-Gwen right here is doing a commercial for Miss Minutes in the TVA. I guess for new recruits to come in. Mobius, come here. Gwen! I have already tried. He's being a pill and doesn't want to do it. Mobius talks about how Miss Minutes went rogue in the Loki TV show and basically almost killed him and everybody and all his friends. I think that was like episode 4 of the season 2. Miss Minutes is like, oh, we have a problem here. And Mobius is like, why? Because our mascot is a homicidal clock, basically? No, because we used to prune people and timelines, and now we just allow everything outside of the sacred timeline. B-15 shows up, and if you guys remember, she used to be a security guard for the TVA, and now she's like the CEO or COO of the TVA. She tries to stop this argument between Miss Minutes and Mobius, and during that time, Spider-Gwen's like, all right, I'm out of here. Peace. When walking through the TVA, we see some nice Easter eggs like Deadpool. I believe that's Deadpool and Wolverine's Deadpool, like Ryan Reynolds. Climbing on the wall, she actually sees the Loki statue that in the end of season 1, we saw Kane the Conqueror, but now it's Loki because he sacrificed himself for the sacred timeline and all the Tree of Yggdrasil. We also get a cameo of the green lime pie, like the Florida pie that Mobius used to eat in the Loki TV show. And, you know, Spider-Gwen steals his lunch. She sits down with this blonde guy right here. And at first, I thought, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a variant of someone, but who? Like, who could it be? And yes, it's a variant of Wolverine. He slices, or I should say takes, Gwen's little fork right here with the key lime pie. Then Ingrid shows up, and there's a bunch of Ingrids in Marvel, and I can't remember exactly which one. I believe she's part of the Asgardian lineage. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments. What's hella funny here is that Gwen wants to get the prunes back, just to prune Jimmy right here, which that is the Wolverine variant's name. They get called by OB, Mobius, and B-15 to come to like the, OB's section right here we saw in the Loki TV show about a certain situation, and, Peggy Carter as Captain Britain shows up. I'm here for a more serious reason, I'm afraid. Supposedly what's happening is that multiple timelines and multiple people, they're having like some crazy lunatic like nightmare, but they have one thing in common. At the end of the nightmare, they see the TVA, and every single person that had the nightmare can describe the TVA specifically, even though they never been here before. OB down here believes it could be an incursion with the timelines, but Mobius is like, well, Loki kind of saved that, so what else could it be? Then Mobius gets like a whiteboard and starts writing down like, okay, who could it be? Who could it be? They kind of believe it could be like a flu-like symptom, like a flu nightmare or something like that. But they decide, you know what? We got to go to the first timeline that actually happened and get some answers. B-15's like, hey, before you go, I can get someone else to come with you guys for extra support. That is Remy LeBeau, Gambit. Spider-Gwen says down here too, she's like, hey, we can give you a chance of a redemption no matter what your history was prior to this. This is giving me some Channing Tatum vibes just because of that statement right there. The crazy part is this version of Gambit, also Rogue died in front of him, and I guess it's his fault, and that's his redemption, I guess. Gambit decides to agree, and they go to Earth 93 to Santa Cruz, California, when we see this team of, Spider-Gwen, Gambit, Captain Carter, the variant of Wolverine, and Irvin. Jimmy goes up to Gambit. He's like, hey, Gambit, you want some food? You want to get some food? Hey, 2 please. 2 deep fried Oreos. And then we see Rogue as a zombie saying, oh, hello, sugar. You let me die. And she starts attacking Gambit. Everybody on the team is having personal nightmares. Captain Carter right here, or Peggy Carter, she's getting nightmares of World War II and the Germans. Gwen is getting like a nightmare of the Spider Society, and she's like, you're not real. You're not real. Scarlet Spider is like, hold still and you'll feel how real we are. The portal opens up to go back to the TVA, and everybody runs through. That's when we get the first introduction of Doc Clock right here. And she says, hey guys, you guys should not go back out. You guys are one shot no stim. You guys need some health for sure. But they can't figure out who is doing this, who's creating these nightmares Who's doing all of this? And that's gonna be the whole point of the whole, I guess, main arc of this book. At the end, we see Spider-Gwen walking through the TVA or later that night, and she's like, huh? What's going on? We see a silhouette of a green cape. Dr. Doom? Loki? Who is that? Then Gwen wakes up in her bed. So that is the nightmare going on in the TVA. Who is doing this?